welcome to this week's episode of the Overflow Podcast. I'm no longer going, hello, because I have been chastised.
Have you?
I was chastised by you.
No.
I was criticized, and so, you know what? There was no love in any of that criticism, so we're not doing it anymore. Anywho.
No, seriously, like, who said something to you?
Nobody said nothing.
Oh.
Anyway, what's up, everybody? As always, I'm Joaquin.
And I'm Jay.
And we are here for this week. We are we're always super excited. We've got a topic in mind, but I think we might go off the rails a little bit because some dope stuff has happened over the last week. And so we want to make sure that, we talk about it.
Word.
Because some of it is because...
I don't know what you're talking about, but sure.
Because some of it is about how I've been vindicated. And so we're always going to talk about whenever I get vindicated.
Yeah,
we're going to talk
few in between those moments.
We're going to talk about that. They are far and few in between. But let's see what happened. Oh, Jay sent me a text that I don't...
I just got your response.
Oh, yeah. I just sent it like 5 minutes ago.
You jerk.
Oh, and with that, Jay sent me a text message about an hour ago, and I just responded. I always like to respond really late, like it just happened, because it throws people off. And of course, we never want to forget, Dennis, producer, engineer extraordinaire. Say hello, Dennis.
I don't know if I want my name attached to this. Just kidding.
Too late. So with that, Valentine's Day, Valentine's Week, Valentine's
with
happened, and so we'll keep my Valentine's was short, just a regular Thursday. I did see Alita: Battle Angel.
So was mine,
and it was dope. Jay, so
really? You liked it in it?
I did.
Okay, but
you gotta watch it in 3D. Because it was filmed in 3D, so it's definitely worth watching in 3D. I liked it though, and it did remind me of the anime.
The anime. So you watched the anime?
I watched it way back in the day, and it kind of still had that same.
Word.
Matter of fact, I remember I saw a clip of the anime not too long ago, and in the scene in the clip was like the scene that I saw in the movie. It was almost kind of a shot for shot.
Okay. That's cool.
But it was a little uneven in places, but overall, I really enjoyed it. So definitely worth checking out.
I mean, I was a fan of the anime. So.
In 3D. In the IMAX, if you can go and see it at the IMAX.
Go to the matinee.
Word dizzle. Just don't take Bean.
Nah, I told you what happened when I took him to see.
Speaking. So let's go jump on that since we're in this idea of the movies. So Jay took Bean. He had a daddy son fun time. And so what happened when you took him to go see the Lego movie?
It was supposed to be like father-son time. Took him to see his first movie.
In a movie theater, obviously.
And sorry, hold on, business.
Okay, so
and he freaked out. He freaked out, like he lost it, and he wanted to leave before the movie started. It was during the Shazam trailer, which he had seen
1,000 times,
right? But his freak out was ready. That he didn't want to be there to see the big TV. That the TV was too big, so he wanted to go home.
The TV was too big. Wah, wah. So you guys saw Lego. So how was Lego 2? I haven't watched it yet. Probably go this coming weekend.
I thought it was great. It was. It wasn't as funny as the first one.
Right. Which for a sequel, that's not.
Right. It wasn't as funny, and I think that's because they purposely did a few things to make it a two-parter.
Oh, okay. To make the movie a two-parter?
The movie, so the movie's a two-parter. There was a cliffhanger
to be continued. Okay. All right, cool. So Lego 2 gets How many adobos? Bringing back the adobos. How many adobos?
Bringing back the adobos. I would give the Lego 2 movie 3.5 adobos.
3.5. I would give Alita 3 adobos. It is not for everyone. If you're not into sci-fi, you're not gonna like it.
What about if you're not into anime?
If you're not into anime, even if you like sci-fi, you can watch it without being into anime because you're not gonna have a point of reference. But I think if you're into anime, I think you will like it. I mean, especially if you saw, because it's a live action movie. So if you saw the original, I think you'll enjoy. I think you'll enjoy this. So
yeah, I want to see it. I like the anime. I was into the anime.
So back to Valentine's. So Jay doesn't celebrate Valentine's either. Now the reasons we don't celebrate it are different. He doesn't celebrate it because him and his wife just don't celebrate it, because they have no love for each other. And then I don't celebrate it because I got no one to love. So a lack of love is the reason why
all around
Valentine's isn't celebrated.
He's so dumb. No,
we don't. Which today's title is "Where Is the Love," so it kind of fits.
We don't.
Where is the love, Jay?
We don't celebrate Valentine's because we think it's just stupid. Right? We think it's just stupid. It's just a stupid holiday.
You didn't think it was that stupid when you got that Apple Watch, though.
That wasn't for Valentine's. That was for
your birthday.
That was for our anniversary.
Well, that's right.
So
it's all around the same time.
So we celebrated our anniversary, and that was like, okay. So my wife got me an Apple Watch as an anniversary gift. And also like to help me.
I was there.
Keep me motivated.
Where's my Apple Watch? I was
because of the workouts that I've been doing lately.
Right.
But yeah, like we both, and it's funny. I'm so glad. Like it was like when we were dating. Like she's the one that brought it up. It's like, I don't believe in that. That's like, I think that's stupid.
Only because she's a foreigner. I will guarantee that America is the only place that makes a big deal out of it. I mean, they might celebrate it in other places.
Probably not as big or as much money spent.
But I would guarantee we're the only one. I think when it comes to holidays, we're really good at like blowing our holidays up. Yeah. I mean, all of our holidays, well, except for today, President's Day, we don't. When we're recording this, we don't give a crap about, but now's if you like candy, now's the best time to go back.
Now is the time 75% off. But so we don't do the Valentine's. I went to work.
Right. I don't do Valentine's because there's no one to do Valentine's with.
I brought a dozen donuts to work.
I say that again just to get a little extra sympathy.
I bought a dozen donuts. I brought them to work. Threw them on the table. Hey guys, happy Valentine's Day. Eat some donuts.
Nice. You get y'all fat so no one will love you. No, wait, that's not. You're gonna be like Joaquin. No one will love you. So cool. So anyway, so you had Valentine's. You had your anniversary. How long have you been married?
8 years.
Eight. Wow, it's been 8 years.
8 years married,
and then 9
next
together.
Next month,
right?
9 together.
9 together. Wow, I remember those days like if I had been there. Oh wait, I was there because you were living in my house at that moment.
Yeah, and remember that we were having dinner at IHOP when she came in and she
wasn't that the official? That was the official
invaded
meet?
our space.
Wasn't that the official?
That was the first time we officially saw each other.
Yeah, that was like so. How sad your first date was. I'm there, like the third. How sad for me.
It wasn't.
It's not really sad for you.
It wasn't our first date. It was the first time we met face to face.
All right, whatever. It was your first date. So the joke works. The joke works if it's a first date. So I'm saying it's a first date. And 9 years later, they got 2 kids, and they're married 8 years.
Yo,
they haven't killed each other. It's amazing. Glory be to God.
Glory be to God. Yo, 2 kids, 2 cars, a house. Because remember, I was crashing on your couch because I was homeless.
2 friends.
2 friends. It all comes in twos.
Comes in twos.
Right. So yeah, dude. It's
So that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that So there's some stuff that we want to cover. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about the trailer and the song right now. Before we go to any articles or anything else, because
before we go to headlines.
Yeah, because
we might not go to headlines.
I don't think we're going to go to headlines because Jay shared something with me, and I want him to share it. And I want him to share it with you guys that are listening because I
don't want to share it.
But
not this time.
But you know what? It's done because
What do you say, Napoleon?
Because Napoleon says, "Do it."
He does, right?
Yeah, he's got his finger up in the air like, yes, conquer. Like that's like conquer that fear, because it's fresh,
Word,
right?
Word.
It's fresh in the mind, and B, I think it hits. Honestly, it hits today's topic. It hits.
It doesn't hit today's topic.
I think it does.
Do you?
I think it does. I'll tell you why I think it does.
Okay, you tell me why.
As you're
afterwards.
talking about it, I think it does, and it also talks. It also continues, kind of this overarching theme for us this year.
Yeah, that's the overarching theme for the year.
Overarching
we'll
theme
always go back to that.
The overarching theme of the year is the fear monster. So this is a great example of that in kind of our everyday go on kind of life. And then I think it does. I mean, I'll tell you why when we're talking about why I think it fits into the idea of
Dale.
The topic, which is what is love, for today. So as always, since we are media guys, well, Jay works for the media. I like to consume the media. So our song of the day, our song of the week, is a guy that we've shared before. Somebody that Jay's knows or still knows. So it's GAWVI. And he came out with I guess this would be like his Valentine's Day song.
Yeah, it's his Valentine's Day song.
Right. Called Hope You Say. I mean, it's a GAWVI track. I'll listen to the song. It's a dope song. It seemed a bit autobiographical or biographical. So I don't know if it was or wasn't, but dope songs. So that will be on our Spotify playlist, and we'll have the video. It's like an audio video.
It's an audio, yeah. It's illustrated and animated by Cassandra.
By Cassandra. And then the trailer, I was surprised that Jay's the one that picked the trailer for this week. I'm surprised this is the trailer for the week, but it kind of makes sense. The movie's called The Hustle, and it stars Rebel Wilson, who's the heavyset Australian chick who's in like Pitch Perfect. She's got a movie out now that came out last week. It's like a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
And well, in the sense that it's like she.
No, I know what you mean.
Like she's in a romantic comedy. And it's like it's weird. And obviously, I'll probably go watch it or something.
Yo, but did you watch the trailer?
But I did watch the trailer of The Hustle, and it's got
Anne Hathaway.
And so it's a movie about one, Anne Hathaway's character, who's a sophisticated con artist.
Right.
And then you have Rebel Wilson's character, who's
the exact extreme opposite of sophisticated.
Right. Not sophisticated.
All right, so let me tell you why I chose this.
Why did you? The trailer was funny.
Not only
I laughed.
Not only because the trailer was hilarious, but also it reminded me of. I'm gonna go. I'm about to date myself.
Uh-oh.
It reminded me of like a female version of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Okay.
With Michael Caine and Steve Martin.
I think that was in the tagline even somewhere. I thought I saw that somewhere. Maybe I read it like that. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
I don't know. I just thought it was. But
Right.
But it was funny though.
Yeah, it was
funny.
It was funny. So The Hustle, check it out. It looks like it'll be a funny movie.
It'll be a funny movie.
Here at the Overflow Podcast, we enjoy funny movies. Hey. Oh, and this just dropped. So it's official.
Yeah.
There are no more Marvel shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
They finally canceled Jessica Jones.
And The Punisher.
And The Punisher.
Which I haven't finished watching.
I did. I liked it, and I'm sad, but that's okay.
No, but you can't be sad because it's all a part of the master plan.
Well, maybe because you heard the new rumor was that Hulu was going to might try to revive them.
Well, I think what Marvel's going to do
because Disney owns whatever percent of
Disney owns
Hulu.
A large portion of Hulu now since they bought Fox, right? But the deal is that I think that they're going to go with Hulu for their more adult shows, right? Because remember that Disney's putting out their streaming service in the summer. Right. So you can't have those shows on a Disney platform, right? Because they're super adult with all the cursing and all the other stuff,
right.
The violence. So I think they're going to push those. I think that's what I read today, that the plan is to possibly, the rumor is that they'll possibly
that's the thing.
bring it back up in Hulu. But I think it's going to be dependent on whether or not the shows that they're already going to put out on Hulu will be successful.
And then seeing that's what makes no sense to me. I've seen the shows that they're going to put out on Hulu.
Like Howard the Duck, you're not waiting
And-
excited to see Howard the Duck.
Like I read the synopsis for all of them. But here's the thing, right?
They're going to do
They're
on
pushing-
Hulu what Netflix did with The Defenders.
Right, but they did it backwards.
The offenders.
You should have
The offenders.
the offender. You should have your established so you can bring those eyeballs in to then introduce. So in other words, like
but
DC did. DC did Titans because
Right.
those are characters.
Right.
That for
And then they brought in
that
the
for the
Doom
most part
Patrol
people
and
know. They
Hawk and
introduced
Dove.
Doom Patrol, and now they have the Doom Patrol. That just I haven't watched it yet, but that's the first episode got dropped last week.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. But then again, because it is Marvel and people love to watch anything Marvel,
Yeah.
then
But contractually, they can't bring it back out for another 2 years. None of the shows. That's in the contract they had with Netflix.
I haven't seen that. So
Yeah, I read that a while ago. I sent that to you. They have
Nah,
a
I
contract with
haven't
Netflix that if they do cancel it, then they can't revive those shows.
if
for-
who cancels it, Disney or
Disney
or
or-
Netflix?
Disney or Netflix. If they're canceled, Disney can't revive those shows for another 2 years.
'Cause I would
after
think,
cancellation.
I would think if Netflix canceled them, then Disney could do whatever they want because Netflix is the one
Right.
that canceled them. But
Right. But who knows?
we'll
Who
see.
knows? Who knows? Right.
all I know
but,
is that it's whack.
But I did read that. I'll find it and I'll send it.
It's
to you.
whack. Let them finish the contract and then do like they did with Last Man Standing. Then you just pick it up and keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah, but
But they
I
don't
mean,
ask us.
It's Disney.
So, they don't
Disney
ask-
can do whatever they want.
They don't ask us.
Yeah, they don't ask us, those jerks.
Yeah. So we got.
Did you see the new Captain Marvel trailer?
Wait. They talk about Superman. They had that Superman Easter egg.
No, they had a Superman on Captain Marvel.
Oh,
Or Shazam?
Captain Marvel. I'm thinking Shazam. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no.
I'm thinking of the
Shazam.
original Captain
The
Marvel.
original. Yeah, I know.
I don't think I did. I don't think I watched it. I'm kind of not. I'm just not really feeling the trailers.
We watched.
So I don't want to.
It was a TV. It was a commercial. So it was like the 30-second spot. So I turned around and asked Magda, "Hey, that's Marvel's response to Wonder Woman. What do you think? Looks dope, right?" She was like, yeah, nothing. I saw all the trailers. Nothing. I don't find any of the trailers exciting. Like I can wait for that one. I can wait for that one to come out,
Well, it is Magda.
dude.
So
But remember, it's
because
a new Magda because she loved Titans. We saw Doom Patrol. She loved Doom Patrol. She was like, "Oh yeah, that's right, Doom Patrol. Let's put the kids to sleep so we can watch." Right? She loved Doom Patrol.
Wow.
Right? She liked
No,
she
I
liked
wanna
she loved, right? Remember she said that no, dude, it's Magda. Remember, but Magda's DC movies, the number one is BVS, then Wonder Woman.
Right.
Right? So it's like, oh.
But no, I want to see Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it looks dope.
I think only
But it's just
the space scenes look cool.
I think it looks dope. I think a part of it is I'm tired of the trailers. I just want to watch the movie. You know what I'm saying? Because
next month, right?
Because they keep dropping them trailers. Yet with Avengers, they just keep dropping the same trailer, and they might add one extra line to it. But rumor was a Endgame trailer was supposed to be dropping soon, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, enough movies. Wow,
that's what I was doing.
Is it ever enough movies? Oh, another shout out we want to give is to our buddy Alejandro Calderon, the
El Calde.
influencers Espanol.
How was that on Saturday?
Officially launched. It was dope. He launched on that Saturday.
So did he actually preach,
Yes.
or was he just
he
like
preached? He preached. Like Pastor Ashley, who's Passive Influencers, right?
Yeah.
He came and he did his, hey, blah 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 blah
the
blah,
intro and all
and
that?
all that stuff, and then Alejandro preached, invitation, prayer. Like I think 6-7 people accepted Christ. Like
Where was it?
it was at there's this little church. I think it's a Church of God.
Oh, the one that they bought? Or that was given to them?
That was or they're allowed to use. I'm not quite sure what that.
Right.
It's I think their offices are finally
It
there.
was like the Kennesaw Church.
Right, something like. But I think it was I think it was given to, and I don't know if it was given or if they're just renting it, or they're renting it to them like at a.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they have their offices. It's a sanctuary. There's like a gym. It's really nice. Like, it's a really cool little old, it's just a cool little church. And that's where they've been meeting. That's where they're going to be having services on Saturdays.
Nice.
But yeah, Alejandro preached. There was like 117 people there.
Wow, that's dope.
It's just a lot of people came. They got a worship band in Spanish. And they're all Latinos in the worship band. From what I understand, I mean, this the
and
whole
worship
thing.
was Spanish only.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it was Spanish only. So it was dope. And like I said, man, Alejandro, man, he went up there, he preached, and people got saved. And I call his wife Laura. I'm like, Pastora. And she's like, shut up. She takes it a little better now. Like she accepts it a little better now. But even now, she's kind of like, don't call me that. Super excited about that. I was sitting there. I was thinking to myself. I was like, man, how things have flipped.
How do you mean?
Well, so I grew up in Gringo church. I grew up in American church. Jay grew up in Spanish church.
Oh, hi.
Right. And then when I met Jay, I was still going to American church, but then I would go to Spanish church with him and visit with him and kind of, but I wasn't engaged in that world.
Right.
Right. But I would go visit, whatever. And then just slowly. And then when Jay left the last Spanish church he was at, and he was just kind of like, I'm like, dude, come to an American church. You need a break. You need something different. So Jay came to American church with me, and then it took him a while, and he finally kind of slid into that American church, where he's even told Spanish people that go to Spanish church, you should just go to American church. They got their own drama, but it's not as dramatic as the drama you find in Spanish churches.
That last Spanish church I was involved in, forget about it.
That was some drama. The Overflow Pochinche hour will be later. And then, but then me, I go to influencers, and then I recognized Alejandro because I had met him like a couple of times when you were at Mundo the first time.
he was at Mundo.
And he was at Mundo. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, yo, I think I know this dude. This dude looks so familiar. So I walk up to him like, yo, do you know Jay? Oh, yeah, I know Jay. And then from there, he invites me to come to the Spanish group when they start the Spanish group. So I get involved with that. I walk away. Step away for a bit. I come back to it. Now I'm sitting in the Spanish launch, the Spanish church launch, and they haven't said it. They haven't said anything to me. But there is. Well, no, that's not true. They have said to me, hey, we haven't seen you. When are you going to be able to come to when it was the pre-launch stuff? When are you going to be able to come? And I'm like, but I've been doing a lot of moving, so I just haven't been able to.
So the question is, will you be going to the Spanish church on Saturday?
Probably. Right? Because
why you say that so low?
Probably because I don't want them to hear it. I don't want his ears to perk up. He's coming. No, because
I'm gonna text him right now.
No, you better not. Because remember I told you the other couple weeks back. So when I went to the Spanish group, right, I would go and I would be me, right?
But yeah, and lately you've been talking.
But then lately I've been talking more because when it comes to the Bible stuff, I just sit back. I would just keep quiet. Every once in a while I might say something. And then one day, Alejandro wasn't there. We all sat around a table instead of in the living room.
Yeah.
And so I was just sharing. I was trying to encourage this lady. I was just and Miguel, who was leading the group, he tells Alejandro, man, Joaquin was like dropping wisdom and all that stuff. And so from that moment on,
you're gonna be a part of staff.
I know, right? From that moment on, I can't be, man. I don't. Influencers, to be on staff, you gotta wear skinny jeans. I can't wear skinny jeans.
Calde doesn't wear skinny jeans.
He will be now. I told him, I let you a pastor. You'll be wearing skinny jeans. So anyway, so because I've been sharing more, and even to the point where a couple weeks ago, Alejandro stops the conversation. He goes, "Hey, Joaquin, weren't you gonna say something?" And he made me go back, like 20 minutes earlier to say what I was gonna say at that time, which I didn't, because people were talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I was telling Jay, I'm like, man, I don't like it because I got to do it in Spanish. It's hard for me to try to convey theological ideas
Right.
in Spanish, because it's not. I mean, it's a weird. My first language that I spoke, but it's not the language I grew up speaking.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's very uncomfortable for me. And me
get comfortable, man.
And me being me, right? I make up words, and they correct me, and they'll be like, they'll say the word, I'll say it in English, and they'll say it in Spanish to help me. And obviously, it's a helpful thing. It's not like a mocking thing.
You're gonna be.
So I'm like, great. So now the expectation, I'm gonna be like end up being the youth pastor.
You're gonna be in leadership. You're gonna be the Gringo Rican,
the singles pastor. It'll be me and 4 other people.
Oh man, they're gonna put you on the leadership.
But Spanish
team.
church, it's a Spanish church, so most of the singles will be ladies.
Yep.
Yeah, the singles pastor got fired. He's been asking out the singles. He's been asking out the ladies in the singles ministry, and there went my career. But,
bendito.
so you know what? So let's go ahead and jump into. We'll save some of these articles.
Yeah, we'll run through them next week.
We'll run through them next week because they need to be actually they need to be spit out. But so let's go ahead and so the title. Oh, no. Before we jump right into it, darn, we're gonna announce this. This is the announcement. Legacy Nights.
The announcement.
We're gonna do the announcement, and that announcement is gonna jump to the story. So
no.
I have said it. It will be done.
So let it be written.
So let it be written. So Legacy Nights found a home.
Well, we're gonna try it.
Right?
We're gonna try it.
So Jay, I think last week talked about the Ice Kitchen. Was it the Ice Kitchen?
Did I talk about it?
I don't remember. There's a place called the Ice Kitchen.
It's a place called the Ice Kitchen. It's the rolled ice cream and
that Thai rolled ice cream that's really delicious.
And coffee.
In Kennesaw. So Jake's got talking to the guy that owns it, finds out the dude's from New York. They get talking, the dude's a Christian. They get talking. Jay talks about Legacy Nights. The guy says, hey, this is like the super short version. The guy
super duper short.
The guy says, yo, why don't y'all do it here? Y'all could do it here. And Jay was like, what? And the guy was like, yeah, I'll close shop and we could do it here. And Jay was like, what?
Okay, wait, stop. Let me clarify a few things. I never said that. No.
He said I'll close shop.
No, I'm saying what?
Oh,
no. He did it. He wanted to come up. He wanted us to do it on a day where it was slow. On a night it was slow. Right. That was his first idea, and then he followed up through text. Hey, how about we do it on a Monday?
On a Monday when
since
we're
I'm closed on Monday anyway. So
and Jay went, what?
Yeah. I mean, inside I was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was real. All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll get into the story. I was real hesitant.
Yes.
Right. Because
yes, you were.
I'm a bit jaded.
Jay's jaded.
I'm very jaded.
He's jaded.
Right?
Get it, jaded.
On the fact that, like, whenever I try to connect with people and do ministry with people, or even like bring people in to what God is doing,
or start a church,
right? I'm always let down. Yep. Let down, abandoned, or whatever, right?
One of his biggest fear monsters,
and it's my fear monster is connecting. One of my fear monsters is trying to connect ministry with people who seem like they're excited at first, but then
you can never get a hold of them.
But then, like, when things get tough, they
bail.
They pull out and they bail out,
or you don't hear from them.
Right?
Like literally don't hear from them.
Literally don't hear from them. Right? So when he brought it up, like, I was real like, yeah, that might be cool. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we could talk about that. Right. But meanwhile, inside, I'm like, yo, like, that's pretty dope. Because remember, we've talked about this, that we always hear that happen with other people. Right. Other people get, like, all these opportunities given to them, churches given to them, right?
Yep.
And never us.
But it's 2019, baby. Right? It's a whole new year. So when the guy mentions it to Jay, I think that same night, or maybe even the next day, Jay calls me. And he's like, hey, man, I got to talk to you.
I texted you that night. I was like, yo, I got something to tell you.
And he calls me. And he goes, yo, this guy offered to use his spot. Now, at first, it was just to use his spot.
Right.
There wasn't a day attached. He was thinking, we got to figure out the day. I was like, yo, that's dope. Yeah. And so me and Jay actually talked about, like a Thursday would probably be good, or this, that. We kind of talked, but that was it. A couple of days later, I think it was a couple of days later.
It was a couple of days later.
Jay hits me up and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're not gonna believe this."
Yo,
now I'm embellishing a little bit. You're not gonna believe this.
A lot of it.
The guy hit me up and he was like, "Hey, what about Monday?"
Yeah.
And I said, "What?"
Yeah, because it's it's something when, right? Because I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that either. Like, I know he brought it up. Hey,
right,
we can do it.
Right.
Have you thought about doing it here? Right. But I didn't want to be the guy like to be after. Hey, let's do it. Hey, so
right,
when do you
right,
want to do it? Right.
I was so like, then, you have to be a little bit, but it's the hard part is going. When do I go from like it's where it's like it's a oh yeah cool to like I'm just thirsty for this spot.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And for everything, I always say that. I even posted a few times. Right. I'm about doing things, through relationships rather than making him feel that I'm just trying to use him.
Right.
Right. Even though he's the one that offered it.
He brought it up. Right.
He offered it, but I still want to be like, all right, yeah. And then every time I see him, that's all we talk about.
Right.
That's all I bring up.
So me and Jay talked. Jay was like, well, I'm going to talk to Magda. And I'm like, yo, you should, and me, I'm always telling Jay, dude, reach out. Dude, reach out. Dude, reach out. Because I know Jay's always got the hesitancy where he won't reach out and then it just passes away. Where maybe it could have happened if he had reached out, right? So there's like kind of it's that battle, right? That inner battle that we kind of have. So, I'm like, yo, reach out, and I'm sure Magda told him the same thing.
No, she was like excited. Oh, that's right,
awesome, whatever,
right?
So,
so Friday we go, right? Because it was part of
the anniversary
festivities day, right? That I put together. Because I mean, come on, it's ice cream, yo, right? It's ice cream.
Who doesn't love ice cream?
And it's that rolled ice cream. It's dope.
Communists don't love ice cream.
And plus he was gonna make some off menu stuff for us because it's our anniversary, right? To help us celebrate. So we were sitting there because that's the first time that Magda meets him. No, the second time Magda meets him, but the first time. But that where he's more conversant because we met him before when the parents were here.
Right.
I took them there, and we met. But he's really like closed off into himself.
Right.
So this is the first time that she meets where he's more comfortable around me, and things like that. We talked. We built the friendship, and we're sitting there and we're just having conversation. Like the three of us. Then his girlfriend shows up, and we're just having conversation. And I didn't want to bring it up because. We were there for our anniversary, and I didn't want to like mix the two things. So,
but thank God,
right? So then he gets up for a customer, and then, like I asked Magda, right? It's like, hey, do you think I should like ask him or bring up? She was like, yeah, do it. Like, yeah, but I don't want it to be like.
Right? Notice that, right? He's like, do you think I should? Yes, do it. But
I just don't want it to seem like. And he was like, do you think he's gonna act? Like differently after he offered the place, right? I mean, do you not feel like you're in a place where you can just bring it up? And I'm like, yeah, I feel I am, right? I said, then do it. I said, but like do it, right? It's just like
see, and the butt of the story, part of the story, the butt is that fear monster.
It's the fear monster, right? Because the fear monster creeps in, and you start making excuses for the other person. And we talked about this when we discussed the whole fear monster thing. So when he comes back and he sits down again, I was like, hey, so Dan, what do you think if we do it like the last Monday of March, right? To give ourselves enough time. And that dude said, whatever date you want it to be on, however you want to do it, that's your thing. Like you're the one that knows how to do these things, not me.
Right.
But I'm just, giving you the space. And I'm like, okay, so the thing is this, right? Every other Monday, I record a podcast on Monday, so we can do it the last Monday of March, which is the 25th.
Right.
Right. And this way, it gives us enough time to like build it up and like let people know.
Right.
And it's like, all right, yeah, cool. Like whatever you need.
And
like,
so there it goes on March 25th.
So Monday, March 25th
of 2019, Legacy Nights will be
at the Ice Kitchen.
At the Ice
Kennesaw.
Kitchen.
We're gonna have
all
that information on both websites,
so
right? Because now I will be relaunching the Legacy Nights website.
So that happened after.
Oh my God! Stop it!
No, we're gonna talk about this. So that happened after
You
breakfast
suck.
or brunch, I guess.
Brunch.
After brunchist, where Jay runs into Magda's old boss,
Yeah.
who was the owner of.
Well, he's still kind of the
owner,
boss, right?
Who's
He's
the owner?
Still the owner.
Retired owner.
Retired, yeah.
The
So he's
retired
not
owner
at
of
the
the
office as
lighting
So
company.
and this is the same guy who stepped in to be a mentor when we were doing the whole Legacy Church thing.
And he's been telling Magda that and I think he's reached out to Jay about wanting to talk.
No, he
he
hasn't.
never reached out to you, but he
No,
talked
he
to
didn't.
Magda, right?
Magda, yeah.
He's been talking to Magda. Hey, I need to talk to Jay. I need to talk to Jay.
Every
I need to
time
Jay.
when he would come to the office, he would see Magda. He would like say,
I need to talk to
he's
Jay.
always asking me because
Right.
like we built a relationship and a friendship, but then like the last few times he's been telling her, hey, I really need to speak to your husband.
But
Tell
Jay-
your husband to
yeah.
call me.
Jay was ducking him like a
Right?
bill
So-
collector.
All right, I was ducking him because he tells Magda this. Like, yeah, like no lie. If he had not told this to Magda, I would have called him a long time ago. But he tells Magda, I really need to speak to him because I've been praying for him and God gave me a word for him.
I got a word.
Yo, I'm like,
yeah.
nope.
Somebody, yeah, I'm the opposite. I always want to hear a word, right? Because I'm so skeptical about that kind of stuff. I always want to hear. I want to hear a word. You got
I'm
a word?
like, nope.
And Jay's
because
like, no.
David heard a word, and it was not something he wanted to hear. Not that I did anything that David did,
Right.
but still, like, you never know what that word is gonna
Right.
be.
But like all things, you can't.
Right. And
you can't outrun God.
You
right,
can't
Jay?
outrun God because Magda and I had our anniversary brunch in Marietta. This dude lives in Alpharetta.
And,
right?
And normally,
He lives in Alpharetta.
Normally, they go to the Ackworth restaurant.
And normally
here in
we go to
Georgia,
this
yeah.
place, but we go to the Ackworth restaurant. But for whatever reason, Magda wanted to go to the Marietta
It
one.
was God.
And of course it
wasn't
God.
whatever reason. It was
Right?
God.
And then he lives in Alpharetta, but he came to this one because he was going to meet somebody that lived close to there. Right? So to make it nice,
Right.
to make it easier for the guy that he was meeting,
Yeah,
he went there.
He was going to meet
So-
with his appointment from God.
I mean, I'm as skeptic as they come, but I cannot deny that this was a divine appointment, right?
Divine appointment with some creepies.
Like I woke up,
Creppies.
right? We woke up early,
Pancakes.
right? We did everything, took the kids, whatever,
Right.
because I wanted to go to breakfast,
Right.
right?
Best part of the best
Right.
meal ever.
Right.
Always.
Things happened. It was delayed, so we didn't go as early as I wanted to, and
Now you know why.
because Magda was doing her hair. She listens to the podcast. I'm in so much trouble. But anyway, so we're walking out, and he doesn't even see us, right? He's holding the door open for somebody to come in, and I'm standing there like, yo, is that? And then Magda looks like, oh, look who it is. There you go. Now he can finally talk to you.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so, like, I see him, and he's like, he's like, you got to meet this guy. This guy is probably like the sweetest guy you'll ever meet.
Right.
And really loves the Lord. But like he sees us, he's like, oh my God, this is like the best day ever. I get to see my favorite married couple. So we're like, oh yeah, we're here. Yeah, 8-year anniversary today. It's like, oh, like hugs and whatever.
He goes,
And then
I'll get you dinner. Oh, you guys leaving? Never mind.
And then he does the shoulder grab,
Dun,
right?
dun,
You know
dun.
that, like the dad, like son, I gotta talk to you,
I gotta talk to you.
right? So he does the shoulder grab. He's like, hey Jay, has Magda told you that I've been wanting to talk to you?
And Jay was like, yeah, I've been ducking you.
No, I did. I told him, I was like, yeah, I've kind of been, not wanting to talk to you because she told me about the whole
Got a
message from
word.
God, right?
What are you?
Got a
Blues,
message
what are
from
you,
God.
blues brother?
So he starts with the story, and he says that he was praying. He was praying for me, and when he was praying for me, an old memory popped in his head. So we're not going to do the topic today, right? An old memory popped in his head, and he remembered when he first started his lighting company. It was in Manhattan, right? This guy, right? It just so happens that this guy's also from New York, not just from New York, but also from the same area in Queens that I'm from,
Okay.
right? So that's how we like bonded real quick.
Yeah, New York in the house.
So
Queens in the house.
So he's like, that, and every day when he would walk to his office, he would walk past this construction spot that that had the boards, the boards
scaffolding and the boards up,
right? No scaffolding at all. It was just
the boards. Okay,
right. And he just started a lighting company, so he's like getting excited because hey, it could be a possible customer, right? So he says he will walk past there every day to and from the office because he wanted to see the progress, right? But he would walk back and forth, and he would never see any progress, never see any scaffolding, never see anything go up, right?
What's going on?
So then it's like 3 years. It's been 3 years, and he's walking by there almost every day, and he didn't see anything go up. So
what are these guys doing behind those
right?
doors?
So he thought to himself that maybe they ran out of money.
Was the mafia
they
burying
went bankrupt,
bodies?
or like something happened. Something happened where in 3 years nothing happened. They didn't build anything. There was
constructed.
no progress. So one day he's walking past and he sees a hole in one of the boards, because in New York they put up like in the old movies or even the new movies, they put up like wooden boards, right? To surround it and to protect so nobody can go in and out. Right. Perfect free advertising space. But he sees a hole in one of the boards, and so he peeks through. And he said that he noticed that there were like 300 people there, workers, and they had built deep into the ground, and they were all there involved in constructing and building out the foundation. That's what they were doing for those 3 years.
Right.
Right. So they weren't building anything up because they were digging deep and building it in the foundation and securing the foundation and making sure that the foundation was laid and it was strong for the building that would eventually go up.
Yep. Just on top of it.
Right. And and he tells me, right, then that grit on my shoulder gets a little tight. And he says that when he remembered that's when the Lord told him that, this is what I'm doing with Jae. Right? He feels that, he feels that I've abandoned him, like he wants to quit, he wants to whatever, but I need him to know that I've always been there. Things have happened.
Yep.
It's taken a long time, right, for anything to happen, for anything to launch, because I have been working with him and building and strengthening that foundation.
Yep.
So that he can finally build legacy on, and I can launch him on a strong foundation.
Right.
Right. And now I'm already bawling.
Right.
Because I'm like, yo. And he is like, so I just want you to know, like, he's like he's real sweet. Like, don't give up. Right? He's like, also like, don't give up. God is with you. But he's making sure that the foundation is strong so that he can launch you. And I'm like, but Mike, like I've already decided weeks ago that I'm quitting. Like, I'm done.
Right.
Like, I'm done. I'm okay with the worship nights in my house because that's easy. I give them coffee. They do all the work, right? It's just it's whatever. But like, I've even been taking pastor off of everything.
Yep.
right? It's just, hey, 90 seconds with Jae, right?
I yell at Joaquin when he says, "All right, Pastor."
Right? It's 90 seconds with Jae. Oh, thank you for giving me 90 seconds, right? And he was like, well, no, because God's not done, right? The foundation is almost ready for him to launch you out. And this happened the morning, right? This happened during the morning of.
So that happened
Friday morning, because it was like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then
the brunching hour.
Brunch. And then we did everything that we did during the day to then go to the ice kitchen and then get that confirmation about, hey, at this place.
You notice, and I know you know this, but I want to point it out because it's so true, right? He said, Jay's response was, hey, I am done.
Right.
I quit. I'm finished. I'm whatever, right? Which is a thing that we tend to do. It wasn't that, I appreciate that word, but God confirmed to me this morning that that's not what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It's I am done. Because once again, to play into that, right, to the idea of the whole fear monster thing, right? Because of the fear, which and here's what I was thinking is you're talking about the foundation, right? And then digging the foundation.
Yeah.
Right. Well, right. So part of the idea of when you're digging out for a foundation is you're getting rid of the stuff, right? that is going to go against having a firm
that'll like
foundation that might
have some structural
damage
weakness.
it or might whatever. So they got to dig all that. They got to take the trash out. I mean, who knows how much trash has been buried in that lot for years and years and years, right?
All the skeletons.
All the skeletons.
I was about to say how many dead bodies.
How many dead bodies? You got to clear all that stuff out so that you can then begin to put, the posts and the things that you need. But all that stuff needs to be cleared out.
Imagine how strong a foundation has to be for one of those high rises or skyscrapers in New York, right?
So, so I think it's funny because, I think it's funny that in the sense that, Jay's been doing ministry for a long time, and I've been involved in ministry for a long time, and sometimes we tend to think like, well, there's, the firm foundation's there. Right. Because I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I've been doing this since I was 18 years old. Even through all the ins and outs of my life, I've always come back to this. I've been doing this for a long time. So I don't understand why it doesn't happen. Or I understand why I'm struggling because I've been doing this.
Yeah, not only that, but another thought of mine was, you know what? Well, maybe this whole legacy thing isn't supposed to happen. Maybe it was just me, right? Because I've been doing ministry for so long.
Right. And it hasn't happened.
Right. And maybe this is just me and my own strength and my own desires wanting to do this thing. But maybe the legacy is already there because I've been doing ministry for over 25 years. Right. So maybe that's it. Right. And the fact that worship nights is a bunch of college kids, right? So I'm pouring into them, and that's
it because I have failed, because I tried this one thing and failed, because I tried like that, because once again, right, that the idea of the things that speak into us that we allow to speak into us, our own insecurities, our own doubts, and our own fear, that causes to want to lose focus on what we have prayed and what we have prayed for God to put in our hearts. Because I know, Jay has shared, right, that, all his life he's felt that calling, right? But then when he finally attempted to launch and it didn't go right, so what creeps up, right? That doubt creeps up because I tried it and it didn't work.
Right.
But I thought that's such a great word. And it's such a great thing for us to remember as we're jumping out of, we're getting close to the end of February. So we're about to hit the third month of the year. If things aren't happening quickly or as quickly as we would like for them to happen, right? It's just that there's things going on behind the scenes, right, that we're not aware of. Or that maybe we need to be reminded of, but we're so busy, caught up in our fear and caught up in the fear of the failure that we just can't see that, right? So, for 3 years, that hole has been being built and the foundation has been getting laid, and the things that need to happen for that structure to be strong, right? But guess what else has been going on, right? The architects are still doing their work.
Right.
The architects are still drawing plans. All the other things that's involved in making a building, right? So this group of people, they're working on all the permits.
The architects, the engineers,
all that,
the lawyers.
They're all still working.
There's a whole team,
right? They don't
still doing.
They don't stop and go, well, it's taking too long for this foundation to be built. No, they understand that a foundation has to be built. So while the foundation is being built, they're still working. And what we want to do, what we tend to want to do is, while the foundation is being built, because it doesn't happen fast, then we want to say, well, I guess it's not supposed to happen. Here in Georgia, houses get built up super fast.
Not only that, but then,
right,
with me personally, right, how am I gonna say this the right way? Two things always jump at me. Number one, Georgia has churches like New York has Chinese takeout.
Right.
Number two, I know a lot of people that have launched churches, right, in my area, right, or just people,
right,
successfully, right. So a lot of times, I think on them, as in, That's what God wanted for them. It's not what God wants for me, right? The reality of my divorces, which is the things that kept it before,
Right.
weigh heavy now. Before it was like whatever, but now they weigh heavy, right? Like I'm being condemned again. And these are all things that speak life into the fear monster,
Right.
right? Because instead of me waiting to hear whatever reason or whatever the things are, again, I make those reasons for them.
Right.
Right. I give them those excuses. And it sucks, right? It sucks because a lot of the time, man, if we were to really take a step outside of ourselves and outside
Right.
of the situation and realize that the situation is silent and we're the ones speaking into it against ourselves,
Right.
then we'll be able to do so much.
Right.
We'll be able to conquer so much. But we are our own worst enemy. We remind ourselves of our failures
Correct.
and of our faults a lot more than anyone else
Yeah.
or anything else.
Satan don't need
And so, like,
We do his
and
job
we accuse
for
ourselves.
We do
and
his-
he doesn't have to do it
what,
for
like
us.
80% of the time we do his job for him. He's got like the easiest job in the world, right? Because it's like,
Right, but that's it. Like, because all he has to do is remind us, right?
right, spark an idea
Like,
and we run with it.
Spark that thought, spark that reminder, spark that hurt, and we just run with it.
Right.
Right. It sucks because, right, if we think that, right, and you know, it's one of those Bible verses that everybody likes to quote, you know, for I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord, plans to give you a hope in the future and not to hurt you, right? Or plans to not hurt you, but to give you a hope in the future, right? We like to say it, but when it comes down to it, right, Lord, okay, you got these plans.
Why you hurting me? Why you hurting me?
But God, you know, all this stuff is coming up. All I want to do is serve you, but I've done blah, 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 right? And so, like, we trip ourselves. Right? I trip myself. So what I've been doing lately is trying to recognize those things, right? Recognize that voice.
Right.
Well, my own voice, but recognize those words and those patterns and
It sounds like the Batman voice.
being intentional about going against them.
Hey Jay, you suck.
No, not even. The Batman voice is the one. No, I don't, because I'm Batman. Right? Right. So when we were at the ice kitchen, and Magda was like, "No, just tell him." Like, I still sat there and just converse about other things, but then I was like, "No, I pushed myself. Like, I literally had to physically push myself to bring it up,
Right.
right? Because if not, I would have just stayed there, just shooting the breeze, drinking my latte, and like just chilling."
Right. And then
and I never would have brought it up.
and then 2 months from now, right, it'd have been like, "Oh man, I don't understand why we can't, you know, this guy offered this place, but we're not using it," or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's not because of the guy, but it's because we've already shut it down. So, you know, he's already told you, right? It's like, it's because so he's already said it, like, "Hey man, you can use my spot."
Yeah.
But then he doesn't hear from you, right? So then he's like, "Well, I guess he's not interested."
Mm-hmm.
But then what you've told yourself is, yeah, you see, he was never really genuine about it.
Yeah,
And it's like,
because he didn't bring it back up
because
again.
he didn't bring it back up again.
And meanwhile, he's like, I
he-
guess he was never really interested.
Yeah, he brought it up.
Because he didn't bring it back up again.
Matter of fact, he brought it up twice, but because I'm gonna play whatever mind tricks I'm gonna play on myself,
Yeah,
because I'm gonna feed that
hear the
fear.
voice. I'm gonna hear the voices of my failures, right? I'm gonna make the voices of my failures louder than the voices of these blessings,
Right.
right? So God is opening these doors, kicking these windows open, right? Oh yeah, that's awesome, great, right? But all of a sudden, I'm like agoraphobic. I don't want to go outside.
Right.
I don't want to go out and play. I really want to go out and play, but you know, the last time I went out and played, I fell and I
skinned my knee.
I skinned my knee.
Right.
Right. So it's like it's so crazy how the mind and the spirit are always at battle, right?
Right.
Like Jesus said, you know, be alert because the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Right.
Right. And we only think of that thing as like for like super hyper spiritual things, but it's like for everyday lives. It's our everyday lives.
Right.
God has called us to step out and be greater, right? But we see that and we think that those things are only for during the church service, right?
Right.
Or for ministry, not for like the everyday walk,
life.
right? We don't step out in faith the way we like to think that we do.
Correct. So then we miss out on things like, hey, we're getting the opportunity to do legacy nights on a Monday at a spot that is a spot where there's parking. It's a spot where it's a physical address that people can find, right? And it's with somebody that wants us to be there.
Dude, it's in a shopping center, right? Easily found, easily Googled, right? You can find it anywhere, right? And then it also takes away from the people who probably think, I don't know this guy, and go to that house, right? Go to this house, like it's just all the excuses are gone,
right?
And then it's in a place and it's an idea that fits that matches my crazy,
right?
Because like ministry wise, like I've done a few like outlandish, crazy type things, right? Like I did a concert and an outreach one time at a nightclub in Gwinnett one night, right? Super criticized. We were attacked, or Club ATL. How many churches and pastors were against us about that, right? So yeah, it kind of matches. It kind of matches my crazy,
right? So so today's topic, right, was supposed to be
on love,
or
what it is.
Today's topic is supposed to be what is love, and in a way for me, like as I try to kind of stretch this out as far as it can go before it becomes nonsense. What is love? Love is God, right? Love is God speaking to the hearts of those that care about us, so that they can speak into our lives to help us take those steps that are going to bless not just others, but bless us.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because when we step out in faith, yes, we're blessing others, but we're blessing ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like when people, I remember growing up, people, let's say somebody wanted to like give you something, right? And then you'd be like, no, you don't have to give me that. You don't have to give me that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody would chime in, hey man, why are you trying to take his blessing from him?
Yeah.
Right. Because, it's a weird two-way kind of street. You bless someone, whether it's with a physical or with emotional, spiritual kind of thing, but you also get blessed. Not that you do it for your blessing, but the blessing that you receive is a side effect, or is a side.
It's a bonus.
It's a bonus, right? Of what you've obediently done, and so, we were going to talk about a more romantic love.
Well, kind of, sort of,
right? Well, in the sense of relationships.
Right. We were going to talk romantic, anti-romantic love.
Anti-romantic love, in the sense of relationship, right? In the sense of husband, like in a way being, are you in a way preparing yourself, right, to be in those kind of romantic relationships and all these other kinds of relationships. It's the same thing with God. Are we preparing ourselves to be in relationship with Him, or do we listen to those fear monsters that kind of cut off some of those things? That
are we allowing our hearts to be so accessible to God that we can see the opportunities that He grants us, right? That we can see His hand in our everyday lives, because sometimes we want to keep God only in super spiritual matters, right? And not include Him, or even not realize that He's already included in our day-to-day, in our everyday lives, right? Thing. So, because this, right? I mean, when he first offered the location, I was with Michael,
right,
in a photo shoot at his spot, right, for my new website.
Correct.
Right. And that's all it was. And then we just got into talking, and I let him know about, Friday, second Friday every month, we do blah, blah, blah. And like, it wasn't even like, I got an idea. Let me get back to you though, right? He just, hey, you ever thought about maybe doing your worship nights here?
Right.
Right. And I'm the one that we can talk about that.
Because because that fear monster was present.
Right, because I received it and I filtered it through the fear monster rather than filtering it through, hey,
I've been praying for something like this.
I've been praying, right? And not only have I been praying, but I've been hating on the people that stuff like this happens to.
Right. So it's like, and so when you said that earlier, I was like, it's 2019. Look at that, 2019. We've been dreaming about being able to record the podcast in a place like this, and it's happening. So I mean, for however long it is, right? It's a blessing. So maybe that's kind of the mindset we all need to have for 2019, right? Is that let's look for those openings for the things that we've been praying for, instead of immediately going, hey, I'm gonna feed the fear monster, right? I'm gonna feed this fear, and then loose out, and then it's 2020, and I'm looking back going, why didn't this happen? Because part of things happening is we have to also make, right? We got to take those steps, right? Jesus couldn't be crucified, and he couldn't sacrifice his life for us if he doesn't take those steps to the cross.
Yeah.
Right? He has to take those steps for us to get redemption. David doesn't become David if he doesn't take those steps to fight Goliath. Right? Think about that. David, he was going around killing lions and bears and tigers and badgers and all kinds of stuff and squirrels and whatnot.
And then
what is the thing that set off David's story? What is the thing that we all know sets off his story?
Yeah. I was going to say Junie.
Beating Goliath.
Bean's favorite story, David and Goliath.
But he took those steps, right? He said, hey, here's the opportunity. I know my God is great. I'm going to take it.
Yeah. You see, and to bring it back, while I was bringing it up, and even when I was talking to him about it and bringing it up, I was still nervous. There was still something in me that was like, man, this is gonna blow up in my face. He's gonna take it, and it was still, I was still nervous. And even when, like, his reception was positive, was in agreement, and it was positive. Like, even afterwards, I was still like, man, I hope he doesn't, come back and say, oh, well, I don't want to do this anymore.
Never mind.
I was thinking about it, and but like, even if he had done that, like, I'm glad I did it.
Right.
I'm glad I did it. And all day Sunday, I was thinking about, like, yo, I think I'm ready to start not seeing things as detrimental, right? Start seeing opportunities for what they are, right? And if they don't come through, they don't come through. But if they do, thank you, God.
Right. So that I think what we have to learn, right? I have to learn this. You have to learn this. We all have to learn this. So successful people, right? In all facets of life, successful people have a lot of failures, and they take those failures and they learn from those failures and they keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Jordan, right, made the comment about, you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take, or something like that. It was Jordan or somebody, right?
Someone.
But what's the point, right? What's the idea behind that? If you're not taking the shot, you're going to miss.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't know until you take the shot. Now you take the shot and you miss it. Well, now you know what that feels like. You know what you did. What can I do better to make the shot? And I think that as believers, our problem is we internalize failure as God not giving us or blessing us how we want him to bless us.
Right.
Instead of saying, okay, you know what? I did this thing. It didn't happen the way I'd hoped. Okay, God, why not? What can we learn from this situation? And then how do we move forward, Lord? How do we keep moving? And how do we keep going, right? Peter denied Jesus 3 times, right?
Yeah.
But Jesus said, hey, come on, man, we still got to go.
Mm-hmm.
I still got something for you.
It's funny. A memory hit me.
You learn
that
push.
Ray, back in New York, my spiritual dad, Ray, he always had this saying that didn't mean anything to me until right now, right? He always had this It's such a Pentecostal saying. He would always say, we always give up on God. We always give up on God and on God's promises at the corner. Right?
Right.
Like, we always give up on God and his promises at the corner when the blessing was going to meet us right around the corner. Right? If we only stayed and turned and turned the corner, then we would have come face to face with God's blessing.
Right.
But it took us so long to get to that corner, right, that we always give up. Right? You got to stay.
Right.
Stay. Turn the corner. Turn the corner. Right? You always say that, you're so corny, Dad. Right? But right now, dude.
Right. You gotta
keep it going.
Gotta keep it going.
Right? You gotta keep going. Turn the corner. Right? No matter how hard it is or how long it took you to get there, right? Run the race. Right?
Right.
Run the race.
Talk
You hit a
about
wall,
that. Yeah.
keep it going. Right? Run the race. Turn that corner. And God will meet you there.
And that's it. We're gonna end it on that note. So run the race, keep walking, walk to the corner, run the race so that you can be found approved, right? All this stuff. So as the year continues, let's be very conscious about not listening to our fear monsters, about pushing them to the side, and about trusting that even in our failures, God is teaching us something.
Yeah.
What's the lesson? And then how can we continue moving forward?
And let us remember, March 25th.
March 25th.
Legacy Nights moves to the Ice Kitchen. Well,
on a Monday.
We'll meet at the Ice Kitchen.
We'll meet at the Ice
Then we'll see about moving there.
So thanks for joining us as always. Glad that you joined us. This wasn't what we were going to talk about, but when Jay shared the story with me, I was like, this is what we got to talk about, because it is very important that we remind ourselves that we got to push forward.
You got to starve the fear monster.
So remember, theoverflowpodcast.com is where you can get all the links, the videos, the music, all that stuff. And you can subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for joining us. We love you. As always, I'm Joaquin.
And I'm still Jay.
And we will see you guys next week. Peace.